Indeed they did. Manziel was selected 22nd overall by the Browns in 2014. He went 2-6 as the starter in Cleveland during his very abbreviated NFL career, completing just 57% of his passes. That's the third worst mark in the league during that time span, ahead of only Ryan Mallett and Drew Stanton. And we're calling this Draft Rewind. And, you know, let's be clear. You could call it hindsight's 20/20, anything you want. We know these things happen in the draft. And this is not about Johnny Manziel's off-the-field issues. They're well documented. But, in fact, his actual game between the lines, Joe, why did it not translate?
All right, so, you know, let's look. What he did in college, his strengths there were, number one, he beat some very good teams. You see him right off the bat here against Alabama. They scored over 40 points against Alabama at a time that the defense in Alabama was very highly acclaimed. Everything is improvisational here. Sometimes you can get away with a little less accuracy, even on that great completion. You see that ball wasn't just where you want it to be. These things in college are not as big a deal as they are when you get to the NFL. The NFL is all about the mental part of the quarterback play, the accuracy, the leadership, the ability to stay healthy. So here you see in the NFL him trying to do some of the very same things he did in college. Because of the level of competition, the speed, and the complexity of the defense, it didn't work as well.
Every team wants to avoid this because when you use a first-round pick on a guy who doesn't pan out, I mean, it's a problem, and it can set you back even further. Again, keeping it on the field, is there a quarterback in this year's draft that you think could have some of the same problems translating his game to the next level?
Yeah, and again, we're talking purely on the field here, so I don't want to broaden it any more than that. You know, Deshaun Kaiser is a player that has a lot of attributes. I mean, his size, his strength, his presence are all really strong. The hardest thing for me over the years, seeing a coach improve, is a quarterback's accuracy. If you have an accuracy problem in college, most of the time you're going to have an accuracy problem in the pros. And as I said, to me, accuracy and intelligence are the two key factors. So I'm a little worried about whether someone will be able to take his current struggles with the accuracy issue and translate that into a much better place at the NFL level.
You know, his coach, Brian Kelly, was asked about Kaiser this week and didn't miss words, said he really ought to stay in school. I'm not sure Kaiser liked to hear that, but Coach Kelly had a point. You did have a chance to chat with Manziel, though, if we circle back for just a minute. And is there hope? Would he prefer to continue his career?
Yeah, I had a chance to talk to him a couple of days ago, and the one thing that I thought was really good is that he was in full acceptance mode of everything that happened to him when you're talking about this transition from college to the pros. And not only that, but he talked about wanting to offer, and to some extent already has, just his lessons from what he learned in his experience to some of the guys that are in the quarterback class now. And he did it with a real alertness in his eyes, like, you know what, I understand what I did wrong. And he was also happy about the fact that he got a chance to talk to Sean Payton, as was documented when he was at Super Bowl, and just wanting to take it step by step and go from there.
Can he get another shot?
You know, he's really going to have to convince people over a period of time, not a short window, that he's going to be able to sustain this kind of clear thinking and knowledge that he's gained. It's not going to take a short time, but I think if he can do that for a while, there'll be some teams that will still be interested.
Well, we are less than 3 weeks to go now to the NFL draft. 3 weeks from last night. It will start in prime time on Thursday night right here on ESPN. So we're going to continue to talk about the booms and the busts, including another first round Friday, I believe, Jake McCarthy, coming up on NFL Live.